Man, it's been a long time to stand up here and have a smile. I know for myself, I mean, it was hard not to get emotional after that game. Just where we've been. I mean, that's a long stretch, and it felt like forever ago since we've won a game. And just to see the joy when we walked in that locker room was it was pretty special.
Matt LaFleur, Packers head coach, getting a much-needed win. They were 3-1. Then the bottom dropped out. They lost 5 in a row, beginning with that game in London where Aaron Rodgers got the thumb injury, and there was talk yesterday about the thumb still bothering, and the thumb is still bothering him, but they got it done. And you know what? One of the reasons they got it done, Miles, they ran the ball. It sounds boring. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's more exciting to watch Justin Jefferson climb the ladder and make the physics-defying catch, but you set yourself up to throw by having the ability to run. And I saw the numbers last night from ESPN Stats and Information. The percentage of run plays yesterday for the Packers, the highest of any game in which Aaron Rodgers has started. They ran the ball, they ran it well, and that served them well in their effort to pull off the overtime victory over the Cowboys.
You know, that game kind of reminded me of something I've heard Matt LaFleur talk about from last year when the Packers played the Kansas City Chiefs. He said he wished he'd run the ball more. And it's just finally like, okay, look, this is how we need to break this down so that we will win. Aaron Rodgers threw the ball 6 times, only 6 times in the entire first half. And that thing was tied at 14 going into halftime. And so he ends it with 20 passes. All right, 14 to 20, 224, and 3 touchdowns. That's a really good, efficient day. But what you have is the Packers running for 207 yards. Aaron Jones has 24 carries for 138. That's how they were able to win that game. They stuck with the run game. They were able to pound it right at the Cowboys, who have a darn good defense too, but they were still able to do that. And if that's the way that the Packers are going to win games, it should be the way that they win games, because the fewer times you have Aaron Rodgers throw it, the more times probably you're going to have him be effective, because if you run it that much, that means the defense has to stay keyed up for it. Right? You can't just start thinking, oh, well, it's just Aaron Rodgers out there, so we know we're going to have to cover. And, hey, Aaron Rodgers hasn't been necessarily as accurate as he's been in the past, so we can key in on different things. No. You have to stop the run for all 4 quarters. If that's the way the Packers are going to keep playing, maybe they're finally going to get on this run we've thought that they're going to get on.
And the passing that they did, a significant percentage of it was from play action, which is one of the benefits of running the ball well, because they think another run play is coming. As you get gashed, as you get gassed, and as you think, here comes another one, you overcommit to try to stop it, and that exposes you. And then Aaron Rodgers can do Aaron Rodgers things, but they put too much on him. They expected him to do too much, and now they're finding a groove, and they have to stay in it. They got a short week. Titans coming to town. It's going to be a challenge for Aaron Rodgers to get that thumb ready to go. He typically doesn't practice on Wednesdays. He tried to practice a couple of Wednesdays ago, and he acknowledged it was a mistake. Is he going to be ready to throw and throw it well on Thursday night? Or, was the plan yesterday to run and run and run influenced in large part by we don't want Aaron to throw more than he otherwise would, or as much as he otherwise would, because we have to turn around and play the Titans on Thursday night. This was a 2-game combo, and that's what Aaron Rodgers said last week. We're going to learn a lot about this team the next 2 games, Cowboys and Titans. And we learned a lot yesterday. They dug deep, and they beat a team that was coming off of a bye. And it's always harder to beat a team coming off of a bye because they've had 14 days to get ready for you. Let's hear from Aaron Rodgers on bouncing back after the very disappointing loss in Detroit in Week 9.
Last week was definitely a low, rock bottom-ish for sure. Not in the depressive isolationism way, but more disappointment. And I felt like that was the bottom, and it was only up from there. I think a lot of the battles that we face are between I and I, between the person that can go out there and dominate and knows that they can, and the little voice in your head that tries to knock you off of that confident perch you're on. So I'm happy that I knocked that voice back into hell and had a good performance today.
Was down last week. He was asked a question about how they turned it around after losing to a team like the Lions, and he was quiet for 13 seconds, head down, 13 seconds before he responded. And it was just some of the same old cliches. Whatever. I don't even remember what he said. It was just so basic and non-insightful, but he didn't know what to do. He was out of carrots. He was out of sticks. He had nothing he could do to try to get this team to get going, and now they've gotten going. And the best news, beyond the fact that Aaron Jones had 138 rushing yards, including a touchdown punctuated by an homage to Marshawn Lynch, for which he'll likely be fined. Christian Watson, 3 touchdowns. I saw that play live to Watson, and that kind of reminded me of the one that he dropped. First play from scrimmage against the Vikings after the Vikings had scored a touchdown to go up week 1. Watson ends up with 3 of them yesterday. First rookie receiver to score 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys since Randy Moss Thanksgiving of 1998.
Well, he almost had 4. I mean, if he doesn't stop running on that one go route, because Aaron Rodgers lays the ball out there for him, he might have had a 4th one. And he was able to respond from that really well. But, I mean, this is now, I think, you're seeing Aaron Rodgers get trust in Christian Watson. And it's kind of a shame that it's taken this long into the season for us to see that.
Well, or for him to do it.
I mean,
well, when you don't show up for the offseason program,
you don't
gather. Well, I want to be the butthole in this one because I've been it all year. When you don't show up for the offseason program, even though they're paying you $50 million a year, when you don't gather your receivers and pay for their plane fare and put them up at a mansion somewhere wherever Aaron Rodgers lives in the offseason. When you don't do that and bring everybody together and get everybody comfortable, and they're all freaked out by you. You show up at training camp did he show up with the Arthur Shelby haircut at training camp, right? And then they're all in awe of the guy. They haven't had a chance to get comfortable. It takes time to get comfortable, and now they're finally starting to get comfortable. Sorry, I wanted to be the one. I'm trying to protect you. I wanted to be the one to take the slings and arrows for being anti-Aaron Rodgers. So I
wasn't even going to be that anti-Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I just think that that's kind of like a fact of life, right?
It is a fact. It is a fact.
The more you're around somebody, the more comfortable you're going to be around them. So, I mean, that's just, it just is what it is. So now we're starting to see the results of that. You're starting to see the chemistry come along with Watson, with guys like Sammy Watkins too. And so who knows, as this thing continues, they get guys back. Randall Cobb will come back. Romeo Doubs is going to come back. We'll see if this thing can keep going. But look, this is more or less what we thought we would see after they played the Bills a couple weeks ago, right? Where it was like, oh, they're running the ball. Maybe they found something. They didn't necessarily find it last week against Detroit, division rival, but you play Dallas and you have that kind of game and you go into overtime and you win, and maybe actually they have found something this time.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.